Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We do appreciate people commenting on the governor's race. Coming up this hour, we'll take a look at, well, the race for Congress. That seems to be heating up. And just the overall impact of negative advertising. People have been going back and forth at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, saying that negative advertising is really having a reverse impact on who they're going to vote for. And then, of course, we've got the NFL draft and the biggest, baddest movie of all time, and that would be the Avengers Infinity War.
Marvel characters from across the globe will unite as one force in theaters this weekend in an all-out attempt to defeat one powerful being.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal. To wipe out half the universe.
Iron Man, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Black Widow.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good. Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy and their allies attempt to defeat Thanos before his blitz of devastation threatens to end half the universe. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
All right, Kevin Miller in the morning here at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Many people are going to see the Avengers Infinity War. We are efforting Mark Meckler. If we don't get him, we'll reschedule him for another time. And if that doesn't happen, then there'll be more time for us. But, you know, shame on the folks in the local media for really not concentrating on the race to succeed Congressman Raul Labrador. And then, you know, we've had the candidates on. We've had them on more than just about anybody else, and we're not comparing ourselves. We urge people to follow what this program is doing, follow our lead, follow what we're doing, and have the candidates on. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Kevin, what about the race for state school superintendent? I don't know if that's that compelling, folks, or the state treasurer, or the state controller. Then we would start being a political science class. But when we're talking about the big ones, lieutenant governor, governor, Congress, these are important. You know, on one hand, you have Michael Snyder running, who has a ton of signs out. You have not one, not two, not three, but 4 solicitations to get Mr. Snyder on. He will join us. You have Russ Fulcher, former state senator, who has been running in this area and being elected for many, many years, who listens to this program, who, when no one else would step up to take on Governor Otter, he took on Governor Otter and beat him in Ada County, Canyon County, Kootenai County, came within a hair's breadth of beating Governor Otter. You have David Leroy, a gentleman who has run statewide, been elected statewide, has served in administrations, getting rid of the moniker Citizen Dave and saying it's time to get back into the race. You have State Representative Christy Perry, champion of the Second Amendment, who's been on this program, stating her case. State Representative Luke Malik going negative against Russ Fulcher, saying that he's been running for office for quite some time and that he and Governor Otter were the ones that defended us against Obamacare. I guess we should thank them for our rising premiums, right? Because they defended us. So the state of the race in the 1st Congressional District. And like I said, this is a program about opinion. And we gladly embrace opinion. Sometimes opinions are polarizing. If they're successful opinions, that's what they are. And for me, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, I would much rather see more interactions, more tangling up, if you will, between the folks running for Congress than the NFL draft coverage. You know, everybody around the office pool. Oh, hey, did you see my team did this? Oh, did you see my team did that? And that's great, and that's wonderful, and that's exciting, and that's delusional. But when we're talking about the debt, the deficit, are some of our lives so mundane that we have to have this whole view to distract us? I think that's the problem. We've been distracted for too many years. And we need to kind of face the music, right? So when you're looking at the 1st Congressional District at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, you have to wonder, who's going to pull away with it? Who's going to make the difference? And when we're talking about representing us in Congress.
Go enjoy your beer and ride your ATV and watch sports. We'll run.
Yes, the old next gen is dying on us even as we speak, Ray Amaya. Let's try it one more time, and hopefully it will air the entire Chris Troupa spot.
Go enjoy your beer and ride your ATV and watch sports. We'll run the country.
There we have it. Chris Troupa saying that statement. That's really what it has become. So I hope that we have, and I believe Channel 7's having a big debate coming up, where we're going to see these folks get into it. And we're going to see just whether or not signs make a difference. When you're on the road, and it's funny, when I talk to these political operatives, they go, well, such and such has more signs. But do signs really mean more votes? You know what I'm saying? Think about this. And by the way, we've got a Twitter reaction here from our friend, the Quiet Idahoan, a must-follow guy. Kevin Miller Show, you have examples of Idaho politicians who eventually backed Trump and voted for him. Tommy Alquist didn't do that, only invoking his name when it benefited him. Same as Hillary and Obama embracing gay marriage when the winds changed. People very hard on Dr. Alquist here. From the Quiet Idaho. And by the way, you can always reach me on Twitter at Kevin Miller Show. But think about this when we're looking at who, in fact, is going to win the race for Congress. Your vote. Now, when it started, David Leroy, Michael Snyder, Russ Fulcher. You see Russ Fulcher's ads on television. You see Luke Malek's ads on television. People saying they're proponents of the Second Amendment. No one's going to say, hey, I back Obama, right? No one's going to say, hey, healthcare post the Affordable Care Act is a good thing, right? No, they're not going to say that. And my point being is there should be more attention paid to this race. And when you think about who should be the heir apparent to Congressman Labrador. More on that in a minute. Let's go to Max in Garden City with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, Idaho. Having been out of the country for close to 20 years, I came back to America. I love the American people, but I am shocked at how apathetic or maybe lazy or maybe stupid the people are in general. They'll cuss and whine about a 30-cent increase in gasoline, but they don't seem to care about anything that's really important, like the education systems, the grocery tax, politicians who are guaranteed in gold to lie to you. I voted for Trump simply because he wasn't a politician.
Okay.
Does anybody out there challenge my view of the local people? Go Boise State! Oh, I don't know about Congressman Labrador. I'm too stupid to study his position. But go Boise State! Ooh, look at the draft. Come on, people. Wake up. Are you lazy? Are you apathetic? Or are you just stupid? What's going on?
Go enjoy your beer and ride your ATV and watch sports. We'll run the country.
About right. They'll run the country into the ground.
Our great friend Max from Garden City, thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Jim in Boise with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Morning, sir. I had a comment on the signs around town for the people running for different political offices. It does have an effect, I got to admit, at least when I was younger. I mean, now that I'm 20 years older, when I was 18 and could first vote, when I got to the box, I could remember half of what people stood for. I'm like, which names did I see the most? I went off of that when I was that young. Now 20 years later, I pay attention more, and so I pick someone and go off of their position of what I like or don't like. Don't vote for those. But I got to admit, the names that stuck on my head were the ones I saw the most when I was 20 years younger versus now. Excuse me, I have a cold.
Anything else?
Well, I guess it's just a matter of
Well, how do you see
people
the
taking the time to learn about them. When I was younger, I had other things going on. I was just excited to vote. So, I remember seeing the names versus, what they stood for at the time.
So how do you see the 1st Congressional District going?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I mean, I hear a lot of back and forth with different people when they're on this program or when they go against each other in the debates they had a few weeks ago. And the one coming up, I'm honestly not sure. I know who I'm hopeful. At the same time, I think we're lucky compared to other states that I've lived in where we have several good candidates. I'm not necessarily worried, like with a Trump-Hillary election, one way or the other. Here, I think we'd do okay with, several of the choices if they were called upon to fill the position versus other places where you just have, like, one you really need or one you're afraid will get it.
Right. And I don't even know if Channel 7's televising this debate on Channel 7. Heck, I look at my TV guide and it's got The Voice on.
I don't know. I don't have TV. I just follow you on radio and, other radio things. I don't watch TV.
Well, you're smarter than I am. You're smarter than I am, Jim.
You have a good morning, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that. KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Talking politics versus the NFL draft. And really, when it comes to the news anymore, is it information or is it indoctrination? John in Grangeville, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Good morning, John.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Good to hear from you, brother.
Good. I'm on hands-free right now because I drive truck. I'm in the Treasure Valley. I just want to say I'm really a little bit irritated with people running this whole NFL draft down. My wife actually works with Leighton's sister, and him being drafted to the Cowboys is a huge deal for his family and him, and it shows the work ethic that's built into our kids in North Central Idaho. He was a walk-on. Someone who works for Boise State, one of their people found him through word of mouth, brought him to Boise State. He had to walk on, busted his butt. He was a beanpole in high school, and he did nothing but work and work and work to get where he is. And that's work ethic. That's not something to be scoffed. Also, another point, Kevin, I was wondering, did Tommy Alquist actually cast the vote for Hillary Clinton? Or I know he said he was a Rubio supporter, which I don't have a problem with. I'll let you go, and maybe you could answer that for me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John. And look, let's be clear, no one is kicking it on Leighton or his family or his work ethic. In fact, we were playing some clips from Leighton Vander Esch's small town in Riggins. So we applaud him. We applaud his work ethic. The point we were making is that we're so gaga over the NFL draft that we don't cover important races. And maybe it's because no one cares. And maybe it's on the wrong platform. Maybe when Channel 7, and I don't know if Channel 7 is airing the debates. They keep saying on the Channel 7 family. What does that mean? 24/7 or the Big 7, which everybody gets, right? If they're airing it on Channel 7 and not the Voice, then I think people are going to watch these debates and the governor's debate and the congressional debate. The point being made is the local media focusing and the national media focusing on this. It should be a holiday. Hey, let's go get some wings and beer and do the NFL draft. And it's fun. But the point being that I wish we had, and I've said this for years, half the attention that we do on sports for politics, our country would be much better. But you can't make people engage in something that they don't see a value in, unfortunately. The second question is, Tommy Alquist voted for Marco Rubio. He wrote Marco Rubio in. He didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. He said that on this program. He voted for Marco Rubio. Now, you have people saying he didn't vote for Trump, and they show a picture of Hillary Clinton or what have you, and that's where people get confused. It's not our place to promote or defend a candidate. Our place is just to have this open funnel platform. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. More of your phone calls next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Pro-Life, good morning.
Yeah, you've been talking about politics here. In the 1st Congressional District, Michael Snyder is by far the most conservative. He doesn't have the same amount of money, or he doesn't have as much money to kind of advertise on television and maybe even radio.
I disagree.
Well, you don't see his ads. The reason is
I disagree with you.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe he'll come out with.
Would you like to say? Would you like to say why? Or are you just going to say why I disagree with you, or are you just going to say, okay, keep going? I'm going to go back to my talking point.
Well, I don't know the answer. So
well, I do know the answer. If you'd like to know it, because I had the statement.
Yeah. I definitely want to know.
I think that if you have as much money and resources as you do to put signs in every county and every city in the 1st Congressional District, and those signs aren't cheap, plus flyers, plus staff, plus paid staff, you've got some money. That's not a knock. That's not a compliment. That's an observation. And when you say he doesn't have any money, he's got, enough people to be putting signs up everywhere. Now, do signs mean votes? I'm not sure.
Well, I think that he chose to use signs rather than media advertising, and that he doesn't have paid people. I know that.
You're on the staff.
Yeah, I'm kind of on his staff.
You are on the staff, so you should have full disclosure when you call in to lobby for him.
Yeah, I'm in that race, too.
You're running for Congress and you're supporting another candidate?
Exactly. I mean,
hold on. Now let's have a good laugh.
That isn't, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's just you, me, and Ray Amaya here. But I mean, you're working for another candidate to get him elected, and you're running yourself in the same race. You don't find a cognitive dissonance with that?
No, why would I? If you're for America, you want the best guy to win.
Wouldn't that be you? Okay, so if there's a primary between you and Michael Snyder, who's the better candidate?
I am. I'm always the best candidate.
Well, thankful. That's reassuring.
But if it was in primary, I wouldn't be supporting Michael Snyder. I'd be supporting myself. But whoever wins the Republican primary is going to be the congressman. I'm not going to be the Republican winner, There's no way I can do that.
Well, then why are you running?
Well, I'm running to get the truth out. I mean, I run to be able to speak to people. And sometimes they'll let me on television, sometimes they don't, whatever. That's why I call in. I'm not calling in to try to build up some kind of a legacy for myself or something. I'm interested in bringing people to Christ and bringing people to constitutional government and what the truth is about every subject, not just politics.
I thought you called in just to hang out with us.
I do. I love hanging out with you and Ray there. Ray's the best. I've never seen a better screener guy, promoter, the background guy. But
the background guy. So I bet you say that to all the boys because you get around.
I don't.
All right.
No, I don't. Right. I don't say that.
Anything else we can help you with?
Well, here's what I really think that should happen in national radio, maybe start local, but I think if it has to be the right kind of a host that really had faith in Christ and really had faith in God, but a talk show that would integrate religion with politics. I think that could fly really to the top of the nation. We need that, and
well, we will pass that on to our programming department.
Yeah, and you could do that.
Oh, bless you.
We love you.
We love you, Pro-Life. I have to run now.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, see you. Traffic and weather together, KIDO and KIDO Talk Radio, talking about politics versus sports. If you're just tuning in, why do we care so much about the NFL draft? And yet, when it comes to things that actually do decide our fate, our outcome, our future, we kind of check out. Right, Chris Troupas?
Go enjoy your beer and ride your ATV and watch sports. We'll run the country.
Let's go to Ronnie in Caldwell with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Ronnie, it's been a while.
Dude, it has. And today's a tough thing, man, because you're being really, really hard on some of us. And if you,
why don't you expand? Why don't you expand on that?
Okay. Well, first of all, there's better sports than football and stuff, so not everybody's just paying attention to the draft. There's guys like me, dude, that I want to watch a little NASCAR and maybe check out some monster trucks and things like that. And that's my little getaway. And I don't think I should be punished for that because you're making me feel like a loser because you're saying that I'm not interested enough. And, the only thing that
Now, wait a minute. You sound a little defensive.
I think I am.
Why in the world would you ever think that I would make you sound like a loser?
You've been known before to do that stuff to me, and I think you're doing it now to the other listeners.
Well, really, you just made a lot of statements, and your voice is a little high this morning, a little higher than normal. So,
okay, sometimes when I get wound up, dude, my voice does get high. And just here's the thing, dude. I want to tell you something that's sort of hard to say. Some of us aren't as smart as you.
Right.
And I can't pay attention to some of that stuff. And it gets boring, man. And I sort of lose track and don't even know what's going on. And so, I know I like Russ Vulture because he's a good dude. And so I'm going with that because he's never been in trouble or done a bad thing. But I do know something else that's really weird that I could tell you about politics is what's the worst kind of fight there ever is?
Thank you for the call. Let's go to Barb in Sunny Slope. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Good morning, Barb.
Hi there. So I have something really kind of positive today. I went last night to kind of a debate, a forum from some of the candidates.
Wait a minute. This isn't Positive Polly show. We were talking about politics and NASCAR.
Well, that's true. That's true. You have a point, and I am so anti-sports that I couldn't get into this NFL or NASCAR thing.
Let's make your case on why people will be so captivated by your firsthand reporting of this meeting last night.
Well, I was just so excited to see people somewhat interested in politics and going to listen to the candidates last night. There was a forum in Homedale with Christy Zito and the person running against her and the commissioners, not the commissioners, people running for Senate, state Senate, and people running for assessor. But it wasn't the people running that was intriguing. It was that it was encouraging to see people turning out to listen.
That's a great point. You saved yourself right there.
Thank you. It was kind of like a very, very, very mini New Hampshire town hall meeting.
And in Idaho, that's saying something, yes.
The Homedale is twice the size of Center Harbor, New Hampshire, and we only had 30 people or so listening, but there were 30 people there listening. And I was so encouraged that maybe some people are beginning to see the light, that maybe they have to become educated in who is running and why they're running and listen to both sides. And I just thought I'd share that. I was very encouraged by those people that actually came and listened to the questions and listened to the candidates speak for themselves.
Well, justice prevails. Barb, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Going back to our old statement from our friend Chris Troupas.
Go enjoy your beer and ride your ATV and watch sports. We'll run the country.
Now, for you that are at work on your way in, are you down with the NFL draft, or are you more focused on the Idaho Republican or Democratic primary? Cindy in Caldwell, good morning. You're on with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Hello, Cindy.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Beautiful day out there and a great show. I've come alongside. I'm making my Me Too movement with Hank and Eric and Max and Me Too. I am with their stand. Listen, I was over last night at the Carfeld Center, and this does tie in to why I didn't throw away a vote. War, if you see the movie War Room, if you go into any political campaign, you will see strategy maps all over the place. It is a war, and you want to win. You're not playing so everybody gets a group trophy, because you're not going to have 3 governors, 4 governors, or 5 governors where everybody wins. So you're going for the win, and so at Labrador campaign, we're going, for the win. And I think that is what has happened. I mean, I don't mind particularly because I don't have TV, so I don't listen to those ads. If somebody wants to pull along, and I call it, I love NASCAR, and I love to watch that pack. And, when someone will come up behind and try to get right behind that driver to pick up some speed, so if Tommy wants to come along and now drag in, but if you throw away a vote, Hank knew exactly, right spot on, Hank, Eric, Max, when you're throwing away a vote in a campaign and everybody else, the polls, everybody else was saying that, I would say, the demise of this country, if God allowed, and he could chastise us, he could have let Hillary Clinton win, but they had a vision like Labrador, beyond.
Now, let me jump in here for a second.
Yes.
You'd vouch for my credentials, would you not?
Your credentials as a teacher, serving our military, letting...
Well, no, just as someone who's pretty astute on politics.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, now, Cindy, I love you. Please don't call me sir.
I was brought up by
I'm with you. I'm with you, ma'am. I'm with you on that.
Sir.
But yeah, okay, so for me, I look at this and, okay, so he didn't vote for Donald Trump. He voted for Marco Rubio. I don't see it. And people are going to go, oh, you're for Tommy. I'm not for anybody. I'm for this program. I'm for you. I'm for everybody else. But a lot of people are fired up about that. Am I wrong to say, well, he voted for Marco Rubio? A lot of people remember, there weren't a lot of hey Trumpers back in the day after that Access Hollywood tape came out. Many people thought that he was going to lose.
Yeah, yes, I see you are wrong. I'm helping also another representative out, and the day that came out, I looked him in the eye. I respect this man so much. He's a colonel. I'm helping him, and he laughed because that's the day somebody put the Trump sticker on my car. And he said, oh, Cindy, there you go. And I looked him right in the eye. I go, do you understand this? Do you understand what is going to happen if this woman, if God allows this woman to get in, continue to chastise America? He did with Israel, continue to do this. And he just very simply said, Cindy, of course I would vote Republican. The Democrats stick like in a cocoon with a bunch of termites. They were ready to take that man down. And I am an evangelical Christian. Whether it be whomever, if you're pointing that moral majority finger, you know nothing about Scripture to say who God used to raise up. So I'm just saying I am all for people having their opinions. But to me, it was a breath of fresh air, because if I ever thought of Hillary Clinton getting off of Air Force One, I would really, after Benghazi.
Right, and that's a disqualifying vote for you with Dr. Alquist. But again, you support Congressman Labrador. You make the phone calls.
No, I support the Constitution of the United States.
Enough.
I support for my grandchildren safety. I'm talking to people, and I hate to tell you, Kevin, but this is just true. If you think people are not interested in safety, 3 votes for him the other day when I was talking to articulate women were saying, well, I hope he's been strong, and I hope with Idaho, I hope we're going to vet all these refugees.
Well,
I hope we're not going to have sanctuary cities. Real people are out there wanting to be protected.
And you're right, Cindy. Thank you for the call. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning. And again, a very simple question. It's about the NFL draft and everybody's excited, but shouldn't we be more excited for the governor's race? I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's a stretch. The congressional race. I don't think it's a stretch at all. I think that's the way it goes. And I think that impacts our lives. Coming up next, what do you think? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Let's go back to the phones, and let's go to Steve in Meridian. Steve, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. I just have to say, once in a while, I disagree with you. I love your show and everything, calling a number of times. I think you've got a hard job since you're not supposed to favor any candidate. But if I didn't know better, it almost seems like you're defending Tommy a little bit. And I just believe his record of giving money to all these Democratic candidates over the years is pretty bad exposure and fact that demonstrates he's a fly-by-night, do whatever I think is going to get me into the polls better kind of candidate.
Well, you're right, Steve. You're right about that. We can agree to disagree, and that's the magic of this program. In fact, I think it's more entertaining when people do disagree, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's healthy debate is good. I mean, heck, it's not like the founding fathers walked into a room and suddenly we're all in alignment and harmony perfectly and signed this great document. It was very heated debate for days, months, years leading up to that. And so you're right, healthy debate. I just think that, when a person takes their money, which is proof of who they want to go for in life, Labrador and Little haven't been supporting Democratic candidates. Labrador and Little didn't ride the fence and, kind of say, well, I'm not going to vote for Trump because he's offended some women. What about the millions of people that Hillary Clinton offended and caused the death of for 40 years as a politically evil person? And so I think judgment has been demonstrated to be very weak by Tommy Ahlquist, according to his justification for not backing Trump until Trump wins the election. Now suddenly and conveniently, Tommy can't do any ad without mentioning Trump. And it's really despicable, I think. And it just makes me so much more confident that Labrador's our guy. So, anyway.
All right, Steve, put it on the line. Do you think that the congressman pulls it out against the doctor and the lieutenant governor?
What are you're asking me between Little and Ahlquist?
He's your guy. Does he win?
Well, I think Labrador's my guy.
Well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. Does he win?
Well, sir, I don't have a confident feel for that yet. I'm pursuing that knowledge to try to know, but I can only do my part to help sway it one way or the other with my vote and my volunteer work in the upcoming days. But I sure hope for the best sake of our country, even, not just Idaho, because governors have a profound impact on bringing business, affecting other governors. When you make a bold stand in the righteous way, even the President of the United States can support a governor in a certain way. So I don't know, to be honest. I just don't know. It's hard to predict things like that in life,
I'm with you, Steve. You take care now.
Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Sean in Kuna with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Kevin. One thing I'm curious to find out is why is it that somebody has to be super excited for the NFL draft, but also can't be excited for the gubernatorial race here in Idaho? It's called multitasking, and it's something that a lot of people do, and there are a lot of smart people out there that do get excited for the NFL draft and what the status of their team is going to be, and yet at the same time get very educated as to what governor they want to support and how they want to support them in their day-to-day lives, through their volunteer work and through their, talking to their neighbors and, trying to get that support for their candidate. Why does it have to be black and white? And I think that is the problem with this country, that everything has to be, well, if you're excited for the draft, you're an idiot. You don't understand the gubernatorial race.
Sean, you're a man wise beyond your years. Now, I'm not pandering to you, but I'm going to try and make my case.
Sure.
You look at the amount of attention that the NFL draft gets, the race for Idaho politics pales in comparison. Which impacts our lives more?
Well, it's understood that there is very little TV time that is given to politics in our country until we get to an election year with a presidential race. Generally speaking, that's been the case for as long as I can remember. I'm only 34 years old, so I haven't been around as a lot of people. But generally speaking, every election year, all of a sudden, we can't stop talking about the politics in America. And then, as Americans, as soon as that is done, oh, well, now he better do his job for 4 years, and then we'll come see what they did. And they don't pay attention to every other race that happens on the bye years, like gubernatorial races and Senate races and all the important things that happen, because yes, the president is very important to our nation, but he is not the utmost lawmaker in our country. We have lawmakers that do our local laws, lawmakers that do our federal laws that are outside of what Trump does and outside of what Trump can do. And Trump can't do everything by himself as a person. And that is why we have the three branches of government. I'm not trying to preach and teach government to your listeners, but that is the way that our government was set up, and people just want to turn a blind eye to it. They don't want to get educated and understand where their vote counts and how their money matters and how all of that stuff gets affected in what we're doing in our country. And the problem is like Mr. Tommy Ahlquist dedicating a lot of his money to cases that necessarily don't align with what Idahoans believe in. And I'm not a native Idahoan. I actually was from California. The reason why I moved to Idaho is because of the fact how that state was being ran on a day-to-day basis. And every year it was getting more and more blue, more and more liberal, more and more just do whatever you want, and then let's take away everybody's personal inalienable rights, and then see how our state fares.
Sean, appreciate the call. Thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio.